Welcome to Shy Lowen, a name which quite fittingly translates to Home of Happiness in Cornish. A horse and pony sanctuary set up in 1999 by Bernadette and Eric Langfield. The charity was a manifestation of Bernie's love of horses and a passion for their welfare. Today, Shy Lowen offers equine therapy, training, horse whispering, and an ethical riding school. I sat down with Bernie to discuss the emotional impact of working with horses.
Humans learn to mask their body language.
100%.
Yeah. So, horses, because they're horses, are very intuitive and don't understand human body language. What they do understand is the emotion, but it's the true emotion, not the one that you're pretending to have.
They can't fathom what the mask is.
Yeah, because that's
The
not real.
horses, it's
They
not
only
real.
understand the real.
Yeah.
They don't understand the mask. So we're told to grin and bear it, all
Yeah.
these sayings that we have, and put a smile on, fixed smile.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awful, but that's what we tell people to do. Men don't cry. All of that. So all the time we're told to hide our emotion as we grow up. And the emotion's still there, but we bury it because we're too busy putting the front on. And sometimes we try to make ourselves believe that the front is real, but it isn't. And that's how we end up in all the problems with addiction and everything, because we get so busy hiding it and burying it that we then need extra help to bury it.
Yeah.
So horses know what the real emotion is.
Yeah.
And what they do is, because they're flight animals and because they need to keep themselves safe, they will reflect your emotion back to you. So for the first time, we get used to looking at our physical self in a mirror. For the first time, you start to see your emotional self in a mirror.
Yeah.
But the horse doesn't judge, because we also have a thing as humans where we decide that some emotions are positive and some emotions are negative.
Yeah.
But that isn't true either, because all emotions are just emotions.
Yeah.
And it's just when we get them out of balance that they go a little bit out of kilter and things don't go so well. But they're all there to be felt, and they're all the same. So the horse just shows you with no judgment what you feel. And when you see that, sometimes, first of all, you go through a series of things where, if you understand that that's what's happening, there's a denial thing first.
Yeah.
And then gradually you start to recognise that actually this is me that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And then you start to understand yourself better, and then you can acknowledge the emotion that's going on. And when you do, the horse changes, because now you're starting to be more in balance. You're authentic, and the horse likes that, because then it makes you safe to be around.
Yeah.
Because if you act in a way that isn't what you feel, really, you're unsafe.
My first encounter working with horses was whilst completing a horse whispering course at the sanctuary. A horse whisperer practices horsemanship based on empathy, non-verbal communication, and trust. Here, Bernie discusses the challenges in harnessing this skill.
We talk a lot about control, humans, don't we? Well, the first thing is that you're never in control of a horse, because they're much bigger and more powerful than you physically. So you're not stopping the horse if the horse decides they're going to do something. So, but we want to control, because that's how we've been brought up. We control ourselves.
To know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, you never know what's going to happen. So you need to, that's the thing. So it's about letting go of so many things that you've almost been indoctrinated to believe.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the fear of failure. So I need to be able to do this because all these people are watching.
Yeah.
Well, when you realise that all the other people could care less whether you achieve it or you don't achieve it,
Yeah.
and get to that point yourself, that's when it starts to be okay.
What about if you were to just general advice in terms of people that don't have access to the great facilities that we have right now? What would you say in terms of just practical daily mindset in terms of what you've learned from working with horses?
See, that's difficult
Is it?
because if you say to somebody,
Yeah.
so mindfulness helps,
Yeah.
it's about being in the present moment. Listen to the birds' song. Even if you're in the middle of a city, there's still birds singing. There's usually trees.
Yeah.
Pay attention, because we live our lives in such a hurry. So we'll get into a car or on a bus, and especially now that we have these phones, we
We
spend
don't
our
even look
whole
up.
time, no, we don't, we
No.
just stare into this electronic device
Yeah.
permanently. But if you actually pay attention to what's around you, it almost feeds and nurtures the ancient part of being a human. We didn't arrive on the planet last week,
No.
and the needs that we have are based all those thousands of years ago when we first became a creature. Whatever belief you have about how you became that creature, but the creature still has those base needs, and the most basic one of all is to be at one with nature, because that's who you are. You're part of nature.
Yeah.
And we've forgotten.